I'm storyteller and author Pleasant Despain, and you have a wonderful imagination. Welcome to Pleasant Journeys. My story for today is called Suncatcher, and it's told by the native Canadian tribe, the Algonquins. And long, long ago, there was a trapper by the name of Chukapesh, and he built his lodge on the banks of what is now called Grand Lake in Victoria, Quebec. Chukapesh, he was a fine hunter with his bow and arrow. He was an excellent fisherman with his sharp hooks and long lines, but he was best known as a trapper. He was the finest trapper in the land. And he used hemp, and he would twist those hemp threads into very strong, narrow nooses, and sometimes into nets. But one time, he spent an entire week making one net out of hemp. And the net was as long as the old fir tree is tall. It was as wide as a summer meadow. His wife said, "Husband, you could catch a herd of deer with that net." His daughter said, "Father, are you trying to catch a family of moose?" His son asked, "Well, what do you want to catch, Father?" Said Chukapesh, "I don't know. Let's see what happens." And so the next morning, with that net over his strong shoulders, Chukapesh walked far to the east, all the way to that place where the sky touches the earth. And there he spread his net and set it with such skill. He was quite happy. And then he took the long walk home. It was dark by the time he got there. The moon was out and the stars were sparkling in the sky, and he was tired, and he went to bed and went to sleep. But several hours later, his daughter shook him awake and said, "Father, there is something wrong. It's time to be morning, but the sky is still dark." Chukapesh looked outside the lodge. He saw the sky was dark and all those stars were sparkling. He said, it's still nighttime. Leave me alone." He went back to sleep. About a few hours later, his son shook him hard on the shoulder and said, Father, wake up. Something's not right. It's still way too dark, and the sun should be in the sky." Chukapesh looked out the lodge. "Oh," he said, "you can see the stars. Leave me alone. Let me sleep." A few hours later, it was his wife who shook him awake. "Husband, now there is something seriously wrong. It is now time for the sun to be at the highest point in the sky. But look outside, it's dark." Chukapesh went outside the lodge and said, "You are right. Something is very wrong." And so he told his son, "Get your bow and arrow and come with me. We're headed east." And they walked following that dark trail all the way to where the earth and the sky meet. And there they were shocked at what they saw, because something was caught in that huge net, and it was orange, and it was big, and it was struggling, and it was so bright they had to shield their eyes, and it was the sun who cried, "Chukapesh, let me go. I need to rise into the sky and bring the day." Oh, said Chukapesh, "I am so sorry, son. I did not mean to trap you. I will cut you free." And with his knife, he stepped forward, but it was way too hot. He had to step back. His son was brave. He held his knife high, and he took a big step toward the sun. But he too had to step back, or he would have perished. So Chukapesh, there in the darkness, called to all the animals, "Come and help. I've trapped the sun by mistake. Help, let us get the sun free from the net." And the animals came, and they tried. The deer ran forward, but had to quickly jump back. And then the bear approached slowly and touched the net and burned his paw. And the squirrel leaped forward and then quickly leaped right back. But that little mouse with those sharp teeth, she was brave. And she had, as mice did back then, some long hair covering her back. And she approached very carefully, bravely, went right up to the net, and with her sharp teeth started biting through those strands of net, one by one by one. And she went around. Now all the hair got burnt right off her back, but she stayed with it, and finally the sun was free and rose up into the sky and brought light and warmth to the planet once again. All the animals and the humans breathed a big sigh of relief. And ever since that time, oh, so long ago, the sun never goes to that point where the sky and the earth meet. And when asked why, the sun says, it's because of Chukapesh. He's too great a trapper. And ever since that time, well, mice have very short hair now on their back. And the mouse is remembered for sometimes when the largest fail, it's the small that succeed. There ends my story. I hope you liked it. Please be so kind as to give it a like. And if you would subscribe, the numbers are really growing. I expect by the time that this story is played, there'll be well over 1,000 subscribers. Let us hope. And leave a comment, if you will. I'll respond. Listed below is my website, and on my website, all of my books have a direct link to Amazon.com. There are so many stories yet to tell. Another story to tell next week.